the basic reason behind this economic job loss pain falling heavier on women, is that because simply women work in the industries in higher number that are being affected here?
Yes, sure. This is one reason. So very much different than the last crisis that we had in 2008 and 2009. As you mentioned, the industry that are hit most, they are very different from the last crisis. They are, as you said, hospitality, service, and culture, recreation. And these are sectors where more than 50% of the employees, at least in Germany, are female. So this is why this crisis hits female workers hard from the labor demand side. But it is important to note that this crisis has kind of a double impact on the labor force, in particular on the female labor force. So it hits workers from the labor demand side, but due to school closures and closures of kindergartens and so on, it also hits people from the labor supply side. So women are hit harder. They take over a larger share of care work. And we also see already in Germany that is mostly women who reduce working hours or even quit their job in order to care for the children.
Is this a bigger problem in Germany, Katharina? I mean, I'd always thought of Germany as a fairly liberated society, but it does seem that women take on a lot more of the house sort of home care duties, child care duties than even in other Western countries like the U.S.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, up until the 90s, West Germany has really ranked very low with respect to indicators such as mothers' labor force participation rate or share of children enrolled in early childhood education and care. So, but in the last 15 years, Germany really caught up on this, and we have really had something like a paradigm change in family policy. So childcare for the youngest children was really expanded. Afternoon care for school children was expanded. We had a new parental leave scheme that also incentivized fathers to take some leave and so on. But now if you look at the political debate, and if you now look at all these debates on economic recovery programs and so on, you already almost have the impression that these past 15 years haven't had happened, and that we would still live in a country like in West Germany in the 1970s, where all women are at home watching their children anyway. So the policymakers didn't really yet find an answer to that really big problem of parents, working parents, having to watch their children now.
Yeah, and I suppose the longer the lockdown measures are in place in any country, the longer this effect is felt and the bigger the danger of sort of backsliding in an economy. Katharina, what is this crisis like compared to others? Because other crises, we've seen job losses fall, and I'm thinking of the banking crisis perhaps, we've seen job losses fall more significantly on men in the workforce. So this does seem different.
Exactly. So we compare in our report, we compared this crisis to the previous crisis of the year 2008 and 9, and we see that very different sectors of the economy are hit. And in the past crisis, it was really more sectors, industry and so on, where more men were affected. So the share of men who were furloughed and lost their jobs was much higher than the share of women. And this crisis is different because of the lockdown. As I explained, other sectors are impacted more, and but still, as I said, the very important difference is also, as I explained, that the labor supply side is also hit so severely.
What policies would you call for in order to even the playing field here, Katharina? I mean, is Germany considering giving more stimulus to stay-at-home moms, or giving more stimulus to caregivers, boosting pay for people in those kind of roles? What are you suggesting?
Well, we've been suggesting a scheme for families where both parents are working, or of course for single parents also, for the single parent who is working, to so that these parents are eligible to reduce their working hours and get an income replacement for that. And in order to avoid that, it would again always be the mothers who take this transfer and reduce their working hours. We suggested to condition this benefit on the fact that in couples, both parents have to share the care work. So, in fact, that both parents have to reduce their working hours, for example, in a full-time working couple. So that would be a possibility to incentivize a more gender equal division of this additional burden of care work.